Breaking news, Nigerians. It seems Bola Ahmed Tinubu is in a serious problem. Yes, with what is going on right now in the US courts, there could be more trouble for President Bola Tinubu and his legal team, even after the planned release today by Chicago University of the President Papers as ordered by a US court. Last week, the United States District Courts in the Northern District of Illinois ruled in favor of the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, by ordering the Chicago State University to release Tinubu's academic record by Monday, which is today. The former aviation minister Osita Chidoka, who calls the whole episode a national embarrassment, says, "The most important thing is this phrase of the saga. It's not the release of the document by the Chicago State University, but the expected deposition on Tuesday when officials of the university would be questioned under oath on Tinubu and the credentials he parades, and a chance that a lot would be reviewed." According to Chidoka, that it took the courageous activism of Atiku Abubakar to face the discovery of information concerning the president of Nigeria. It's a disgrace to our national institutions. As a nation, we have a full routine of staff at the Department of the State Security, the National Intelligence Agency, the Independent National Electoral Commission, the Embassy of Nigeria, with the full complement of staff in Washington, D.C., and the Nigerian judiciary that have variously ruled on matters concerning President Tinubu's academic qualification. Yet, we cannot have a definitive conclusion about whether he has the academic qualifications he claimed he had or not. Is disgraceful. That all the aforementioned institutions allowed a man to be sworn in without definitive statements about his qualifications is a national tragedy. For 23 years, the issue of President Tinubu has been a recurring decimal in our national equation. Under his reign, a current youth corps member serves as the minister, and people under investigation by EFCC and made public seats in the Federal Executive Council, and they all passed through security screening. The statement he issued over the weekend, the former minister said, "The office of the President of Nigeria is so important, both in its moral authority and its strategic importance to our national security and safety, that nobody who has possible blind spots can make him or her potential asset for foreign intelligence or government should be allowed a mind near that office. This should be a primary burden on our national institutions. Legal technicalities and silence by the state institutions should be deemed high treason." It highlights my previous statement that a constitutional amendment to finish all electoral cases before the assumption of the office is now an urgent national priority. The current disgraceful proceedings against a Nigerian president, a foreign court under an election petition matter, damage our collective moral and legal standing as a people. If it turns out that our president presented a forged certificate to INEC, Nigeria will bow down their heads globally in shame. On the other hand, if it turns out that the certificate is genuine, again, our reputation as a people is still in tatters because of the failure of national institutions to perform due intelligence, no matter who is involved. On the both count, it reinforces global perceptions and prejudice against Nigerians. We all bear the burden. A forged certificate finding leaves President Tinubu in a vulnerable position morally and legally, as he did not present primary and secondary certificates to INEC. A forged Chicago State University certificate makes him unqualified to stand for the office of the president, as it does not possess the minimal qualification X 137D in brackets of the Nigerian 1999 Constitution as amended of the course. The next issue is the course of perjury, the presentation of false documents under oath. How INEC accepted the university degree without the qualifying certificate will continue to be a national mystery. A language in our electoral legislation to forestall such obvious infractions is required. The decision of the district court and the whole proceedings is not a moment of triumphism, but a sober moment of introspection. It is a moment when, as a nation, we ask ourselves, what are our national values? Who or which institution will have ordered the full investigation of the questionable certificate, considering that he did not present a primary or secondary certificate? Should our court be concerned with the technicality of the trending process of the Chicago State University certificate, or the disgrace and the global moral damage a forged certificate would work on Nigeria? Why did our national security system not conduct a discreet investigation and advise the candidate and INEC about the status of his certificate? A few years ago, the DSS, in an attempt of institutional independence and courage, wrote to the Senate to reject Police Commissioner Mogu as EFCC chairman, not minding his nomination by a certain president. This was based on their intelligence report of his nefarious conduct that plays into significance against a possible forgery case by a president. So why the silent now? For me, the issue is beyond legalism. If, and that is a big if, the certificate is forged, President Tinubu should resign immediately. It is not a legal matter, but a national honor and moral issue. If it does not, the National Assembly should do the needful to restore our dignity as a people. I also expect the Supreme Court to rise to the occasion and restore order to our electoral process. If the certificate is not forged, the president should conduct a wide-ranging recognition of our national security system for failure to save the country from this needless embarrassment and reputation damage on either court. The National Assembly should start a constitutional amendment process to end all election judicial challenges before assuming office for all elected persons at all levels. Okay, guys, you've all heard it now. Like what I said in the beginning, I think Bola Ahmed Tinubu is in trouble, and INEC will not also go free from this. How can all these things happen? And INEC feel that nothing has happened. Well, Nigerians, let's see how this dance, goes. I'm dropping it here. Kindly share your thoughts below the comment section, please. Do not forget to subscribe to this channel if you have not. Thank you.